Right now it's pretty quiet, but tomorrow this whole area is going to be pretty chaotic. Welcome to Ironman 70.3 Muskoka. Now in its 8th year, Ironman Muskoka 70.3 is a well-oiled machine. Before any racing took place, you had to take your place in line and get through registration. And with over 1,600 athletes, this was made quite painless with all the volunteers that were present, helping with all the registration, handing out the swag bags, as well as picking up your timing chip and making sure everything worked. Athletes signed up for both the half Ironman and full Ironman in August were treated to a presentation from Lisa Bentley, helping us plan our journey. There was also the official Ironman store, as well as an athlete's village, which included booths from several vendors with many products to choose from. Finally, there was a race briefing where all the logistics were laid out and the course was unveiled for all participants. So in addition to your race bib, your swim cap, and your timing chip, everything you see before you was included in the handy red race bag, including a 4-pack of Skinny Grape wine spritzer. Actually, make that a 3-pack. I'm back here in transition. We're about 30 minutes away from race time. Everybody's getting their bikes ready and the run gear ready, put their wetsuits on, and get ready to hit the water. Before heading to the shore, first up was body marking, where your race number and your age were marked on your body. Then there was the long walk down to the water along the golf course before finally getting down to the water's edge. As you can see, the water course was pretty simple. It was a nice looped course. To make it easier for all the racers, everyone was separated into race waves according to your age, and different colored caps were for different age groups. As you can see, the 7 a.m. start made for some pretty gorgeous swimming. The sun was just coming up and the mist was lifting from the water. The course ended with a nice walk upstairs onto the 18th hole of a golf course, with volunteers on hand to help you get your land legs back before heading off into the transition. In addition, to help swimmers get their wetsuits off, there were lots more volunteers on hand to act as what's called wetsuit strippers, and as you can see, they're very efficient at getting those wetsuits off. After a quick transition, it was time to head on to what's known as the beast of the course, the 94-kilometer bike ride. Once you had your bike gear ready to go, you grabbed your bike and you had to run up to what's called the bike mount and dismount line, where you could hop on your bike and finally start pedaling along the course. It didn't take very long after Deerhurst Resort to hit the first of the hills that are what makes this course so well known. So I just finished the swim course. Now I'm on my bike. 90 kilometers of riding. The hills of Muskoka. It was easy to forget any pain though, because with that nice sun shining in the early morning light and the gorgeous scenery, it was just so enjoyable out there. The first 20K done. Experiencing the hills and the beauty of Muskoka. Having a great ride so far. The ride took us all around the Muskoka region and passed through many small villages along the way with supporters out cheering us on. And while the roads were not closed to traffic, it was fairly quiet on a Sunday, so it wasn't too bad. To keep us fed and hydrated, there were 3 aid stations spaced along the bike course, manned by another team of volunteers. These are great for keeping us fed and hydrated. Well, we're well past the halfway point now. The scenery's been great, the weather is beautiful, having a good ride. As time rolled on, it was hard not to get distracted by all the beautiful scenery around us. But just to keep us in check, there were kilometer markers every 5 to 10 kilometers letting us know where we were going to go. Overall, the pavement on the course was in pretty good shape, with only a few rough spots to mention. Towards the end, we finally worked our way back towards the Deerhurst Resort, where we could see runners that were heading out on their half-marathon course as we finished the bike. Next up, you had to do the bike dismount and run to your transition to change into your running gear to get ready for the final stage, the run. The run course itself was, of course, 21.1 kilometers and took us from Deerhurst all the way into Huntsville. There was some great crowd support along the way, and aid stations again giving us lots of food and water and other options. Past the 1/3 mark in the run. Things are going well. We just made our way into Huntsville. Time to see some crowds. Okay, the crowds weren't that big, but it was hard not to be inspired when you saw the eventual winner running by us, knowing he was an hour ahead. But the crowds that were on hand in Huntsville were very energetic and gave us lots of support. In addition, if you're getting a little too warm on that course, not to worry, there were people there to spray you down and make sure you stayed cool. So here we are at the Midpoint Turnaround. Go around the timing mats, make our way back to Huntsville and Deerhurst Resort to the finish line. My least favorite stretch of the run has to be along Highway 60, but at least you have the golf course to entertain you. Then it was on to the final finishing chute to the finish line. The race crew did their best to ensure that everyone got to run through the banner and have their name called at the finish line, which was a nice touch. Once you got through that, it was just down to the area to pick up your finisher's hat and t-shirt, and you could also cool off with a nice ice-cold Gatorade or water, as well as perhaps even an alcohol-free Erdinger beer. Well earned. I'm here at the finish line. I got the t-shirt, the hat, I got the medal, and I've even got an alcohol-free beer to celebrate my victory today. Once through the finish line area, athletes were invited to the recovery area where they got to enjoy a full buffet lunch served by Deerhurst. Then they could go back to the Sports Expo area, sit with friends, and relive the race for the day. Finally, you made your way to the finish area and saw the awards given out to all the winners, including these two, the top pro male and female winners.
Oh, it was a fantastic day. I'm really excited to take the win and stuff. It was a great course, great spectators, great volunteers. Fantastic.
It was a good day. I think any day where you get this big, huge cup full of alcohol-free beer is going to be a good day. So.
Well, that does it for me from this year's Ironman Muskoka 70.3. Back at the transition to gather all my gear, pack up, and head home. It was a great day of racing.